Legacy Reborn podcast. A man and a woman who have failed miserably, but took a second and third chance at love and life and decided to share their stories of being reborn.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning into our podcast today. We have an amazing speaker, guest. She's our guest, but she is also an amazing speaker. She's an international award-winning public speaker who holds the prestigious title of 2018 World, not local guys, World Championship. She's a gracious woman beyond measure, one who courageously surpassed over 30,000 people to receive such an illustrious honor. Her amazing stage presence and poised intellectual delivery of various topics has made her one of the most sought-after speakers in the world.
So Charles just read her bio, but Ramona is a champ. She is recognized internationally, has had such an incredible journey, and we're so excited to share that with you. Her journey to becoming an international champion, the 2018 International Toastmasters Champion.
The champ is here. Ramona, thank you so much for coming in today, being in the studio with us, and just having a good conversation with us today.
Thanks for having me. You two are such a dynamic duo. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Now, I have to admit, whenever I saw your event coming up and you were going to be there, that's how we connected in person. When I walked in, I was starstruck.
Oh,
I just have to say that I was totally geeking out at the event. You know, Toastmasters is something that I aspired to, to really dive into. And I saw your accolades that were posted on an article, and I was like, oh my gosh, look at that. And she's from Houston. So
No, I'm not going to attest to that. I was at work and I get a private message from her. She's like, babe, I really want to go to this. I'm like, well, go. She's like, I don't know. I'm like, you're going.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It's like, I know it's such a passion for her. Mm-hmm. And I remember when you first won the award, she's like, watch this video.
Wow.
And I watched the video. And
Wow.
and I can remember the night that we were laying in bed and she's like, hey, I need you to watch this. And because we've been trying to launch, we're part of a trade association on the back end, and we've been trying to launch a Toastmasters for that club for a while, and we're finally getting there, and she's been the one spearheading it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she has some really, really big ties to Toastmasters, and really happy we have you in the studio.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. Thank you for the support and the love. I love it. It makes me feel happy.
Anything we can do to support a local Houstonian, we're gonna do.
I appreciate it.
It's Houston. It's one love. It's all it is.
Yes.
We try to push everybody as much as we can.
Yeah, absolutely. And, our goal with our podcast is just to spread a message of hope. Mm-hmm. Spread a message of hope. Everyone has a story. We're not here just to talk about Toastmasters. Of course, I know that's a big piece of your life. It'll soon be a big part of my life as well. And it's something that, I really look forward to and I admire, Toastmasters as an organization. But we're not here just to talk about Toastmasters. Mm-hmm. We're here to talk about you.
Okay. I can do that.
We're going to have some fun. And we just, we want to get to know you. We want to know your story. You shared a little, just a little bit about it. And of course, we did our research. But who are you? Where are you from? Where were you born?
Okay, so some of my Houston friends are gonna kick me right now because I'm from Ohio. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, but I've been in Houston for almost 2 years now. Mm-hmm. And Houston has showed me so much love. Yeah. I mean, in my home, sometimes the saying goes, a prophet is not accepted in his own home, or something like that. Mm-hmm. Something like that. Whereas when you're home, people are used to you. People, that's just Ramona. Yeah. I went to high school, or she used to work at the grocery store. But you come to another city and you have those accolades when you come. Well, not the world championship, but the education. I was a teacher, and you come and the city just hugs you. It just hugs you. So I was able to get on 97.9 The Box. And I was able to do Great Day Houston with Debbie Duncan. And I'm like, I can't even do these shows at home. Like, you got to show your girl some love at home. Hey, everybody tuning in on Instagram. I appreciate it. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's @LadybugSpeaker. But Yeah, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I've been down here for about 2 years. I started off teaching in Aldine ISD. I taught high school, like upper high school, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, child development and human growth and development. But once I won the World Championship of Public Speaking, the travel was just intense, and the travel became too much, and so I was able to resign early from my teaching contract. So I resigned in December of 2018, and I just been doing my own thing ever since.
Yeah.
Nice. You said Aldine ISD. I'm a product of Aldine ISD.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I went through the whole system, graduated from Eisenhower. So
right.
You were at Nimitz.
MacArthur. My brother-in-law was at Nimitz.
Nice. So yeah, tell us a little bit more before you won the award. Tell us where you grew up and how you grew up and what got you where you are.
As far as the public speaking goes, I knew that I wanted to do this since I was like 19. I just knew it, and I didn't know how though. Like I didn't know how. I didn't have an aunt that was public speaking. I didn't have my uncle wasn't the mayor, so I didn't know that it was a profession. But it was his calling, and I felt it. Like when you're passionate about something and you love to do something in particular, you can feel it.
Absolutely.
You can feel it.
Absolutely.
But I ran from it for a long time. Nah, I can't be a public speaker. What is that? That's not real. I have to be a teacher or a doctor or a lawyer or work at the grocery store or something like that. And so I ran away from it for a while, but it kept chasing me down. Yeah. It kept chasing me down. It wouldn't let me go. And when I was, what year was it? 2009, I moved to Los Angeles, California, just in pursuit of, the basic Hollywood story, want to be famous, want to be a model, want to be an actress, blah, blah, blah. But I was so naive that I thought that I'm going to go out here and I'm going to kill it. Ooh. You get out there and it's like, oh, I didn't realize this is the hub. So there are 50 million women who are taller than 5'7" and who are drop dead gorgeous and who have been doing this for a long time. And I was like, wow, I don't want to do this anymore. And so that's when I kind of started pursuing the speaking more. I was looking for anywhere to speak. I could speak at a church. I could do a poem at a nonprofit organization. Can I just come in and do something? And then that's kind of when it started snowballing. And so I wrote my first book when I was out there. It's called Shine, Sister, Shine.
Wow.
I don't promote it much.
No, but that's huge. That is huge.
Awesome.
Writing a book is huge. I can barely write a paragraph.
You know what?
And it makes sense.
So I wrote my first book when I was out there, and I got just this strong sense of self because I picked up everything. I moved out there on my own. I struggled for a little bit, and then I came back to my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio with a vision and with a plan. So I was so excited. I was super pumped. I wrote out my business plan and my mission statement, and I got my LLC in 2011, but it's slow motion. Like when you're trying to build a business, it is slow motion.
Absolutely. We know firsthand.
Yeah.
We're trying to do some things on the background, and it's just, it's at a crawling pace right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you were at my first event. It was not 100,000 people there. I mean, people think you have to, you go from 0 to 100. Like it takes time.
It takes time.
We live in a world where everyone wants instant gratification.
Right.
It's like, I did the work. I want the accolades now. It doesn't work like that. You're going to get knocked down the way a few times.
Yeah.
And then you start getting a little bit and it starts snowballing. But yeah,
definitely.
I can totally relate to that.
So if you guys stick around, and you come to the different events, you'll be able to see how it grows. Like you guys were at the first one. You saw how we started in a small hotel room. Now we got the Toyota Center. So, that's the vision.
That's the goal.
I love
That's
it.
the goal.
I love
it. I love the visionary part of it. Going from the Greens Point Marriott where we were to the Toyota Center. That's a freaking amazing goal.
Yes, for sure. And it can happen, but you have to stay persistent and consistent.
100%.
Yeah.
But when you keep getting knocked down, like initially when I did in 2011, like nothing's happening. Nobody wants me to speak and all these other people are speaking and I just want to speak somewhere. But nobody knows you until they know you. So fast forward to 2017, I graduated with my bachelor's degree finally. My son and I moved down here to Houston. I'm kind of running away from my dream again. But I said, I'm going to pursue it a little bit. I'm going to keep doing Toastmasters. Been doing Toastmasters since 2010. So I'm like, I'm going to keep doing Toastmasters just to chip away slowly but surely at my dream. Had no intention of winning a contest that year. None at all. And so I get down to Houston. I joined the Toastmasters Club. I'm going once a week. But my focus is teaching. I'm like, I'm going to teach for 5 years. And then I'm going to pursue my goal. And the universe said, no.
No,
sweetheart.
Different plans for you.
You tried it. Didn't work. And so I'm going to Toastmasters. I'm like, I'm going to compete this year. Just what the heck? Fine, I'll do it. And I compete and I keep winning and winning and winning and winning. But I'm like, okay, whatever. It's cool. I didn't make it past the district level the first time I competed and just kept going and going and going. But this time I wanted the district level and I said, uh-oh, something's happening. I'm like, something's happening. And then I just, I stayed focused with the teaching. I didn't put all my eggs in one basket and I kept winning and winning and winning. And then I just won the whole thing and my life changed.
Wow. That is awesome.
That's very, very cool. We're hearing the story of like, hey, you kept doing the work.
Yes.
You kept doing this. And all of a sudden, it just trickled in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the way it works with anything that we do. It's not instant gratification. I keep going to that word because it's the mantra of the society that we're in now is I did this, I want something back. Right. And it goes back to something that I'm very passionate about, like awards for everyone. I am not about that.
Understood. Right.
If you show up to work, you don't get a paycheck. You actually have to work.
Yeah.
So it goes to that. But I love to hear this part of your story. It's just, so when you won the regional, what did you have to do after that? What made you keep going? I know we get knocked down and there's there's hurdles. Tell me about some of the hurdles you faced getting there.
Well, the first time I competed was in 2000. Oh, what year was it? 2015. That was the first time I competed, and I was so arrogant that year, though. I was just like, I'm got it. I'm the best. All these old people in here. I got this. I got the best speech, and I came in third place. And if you want to go on to the semifinals, you have to win first place at the district level. And so I didn't win, and I was devastated because at that point I had put all my eggs in one basket. I was the person going around like, yes, I am the 2015 world champion in public speaking, claiming it, but not in a way where I was showing gratitude and humility, in a way where I was arrogant and trying to be better than other people. And so when I lost, I kind of stepped back. When we take losses, we feel ashamed, especially if we're going around like, yes, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, then it doesn't happen. So I stepped away from the organization for a little bit, and I had to do some self-reflection. Yeah. I had to figure out what's the problem, where did you go wrong? If you know you're this talented speaker, you know you have a passion for this, you know you're great at it, you know that it's in your heart to do, what went wrong? It was the arrogance, and it was the ego, like thinking I'm the biggest and the baddest and the best, and trying to look down on other people because I know I have this gift. That's not what you do when you know you have a gift. That's not what you do when you know you have a gift. Your gift is to be given, and it's to help other people, not to make other people feel inferior or to make them feel like you're better than them. So I had to step back and look at where I was going wrong in my life. And then once I did that, and I jumped back in 3 years later, literally, the rest is history. I don't want to say that. Boom, said it.
Mic drop.
Right. The rest is history. I love it.
That's amazing. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, guys. We're going to come back with Ramona in just 1 second.
Houston, have you considered creating your own podcast just like this episode? Let us help you record, produce, and distribute your ideas in your very own podcast. To learn how to get started, contact us at info@houstonpodcaststudio.com.
Thanks, guys, for coming back. And we have Ramona Smith, the Ladybug speaker, in studio with us. We're so lucky to have her here. The first half of that was amazing. I know we have a few more questions for you. Veronica, do you want to toss the next one up? Absolutely.
It's not just Ramona Smith. We got the champ.
The champ is here.
The champ in the house. We're so excited to be here. Awesome. It's so when someone sees your success online, on Facebook, on just. I found the article, I think it was Business News, about how you won the 2018 International, Championship. What people don't see is all the work, the falling down, getting back up, all the, it's like when we're really good at what we do, it's like the analogy of a duck. It's just floating across the water. What we don't see is that they're paddling underneath. So tell us more about just the behind the scenes And, our goal for the podcast is to spread a message of hope, whatever season in life, whatever they're doing, to just keep on getting up every single day.
Keep on trucking.
And, keep on trucking. Exactly. Tell us the story, like behind the scenes, the hard work that goes into it. Was there any time, during your journey to your international championship where you fell and you had to get back up? Because I know that was, the title of your championship speech was I'm Still Standing. And so tell us more about that. Tell us, what inspired that?
Woo! Making mistakes. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of mistakes. In my speech, I talk about 3 rounds. I talk about dropping out of school, 4 times? Dropping out of college 4 times. But I went back, I did some self-reflection, and I fixed it, and then I graduated magna cum laude, and now I'm pursuing Thank you.
Wow, where'd you graduate from?
I went to Baldwin Wallace University in Northeast Ohio.
Nice.
Awesome.
And now I'm pursuing my executive MBA at Prairie View.
Nice.
And so that was one thing. I was a late bloomer. I didn't graduate college till I was 30. Until I was 30, and I started when I was 18. So that just making those mistakes with college, but then going back, doubling back, circling around it, and cleaning up what you messed up. And then I talked about speaking. I talked about how I've been wanting to speak for a long time, but I was pushed back. It's like I know I want to do this. I know it's like somebody who was really great at basketball, and they try out for the NBA, and then they don't make it, and then it's like you try again, you don't make it, and then finally you make it. And so with the speaking, I knew that I was good at it. I knew that I was great at it, wanted to do it. But then it's like I'm following my dream, and I thought I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, but then I lost the competition. Yeah. But I came back in 2018, and I tried again, and boom, I got it. Then I talked about marriage. I talked about how I was married for less than a year. And I'm not married yet. Hey. Hey, guys. At Ladybug Speaker, if you're single. But I talked about that. And even though I did not have a successful marriage initially, I still believe in love. I still have hope for love. And so the mistakes and the setbacks are fine if you learn from them and you don't continue to make the same mistakes over and over. And if you have the opportunity, go back and try to clean up what you messed up.
Yeah. Absolutely. That talk about to go back to our first episode that we recorded, our intro just between Charles and I, and we talked about like the whole reason behind Legacy Reborn is I was sharing with him is that I feel like there were points in my life where I've had several birthdays. It's like I was born again. I was born again, and each time I'm born again, I feel like I'm born into this stronger mindset. I'm stronger physically. I'm stronger spiritually, and one of our setbacks that both of us experienced in life was divorce. Yes. I was divorced. I was married for, altogether for 13, almost 14 years. Wow. And the best, byproduct of that marriage, of that relationship was a son. I absolutely love my son, my 8-year-old. He's the love of my life, second to him. And Charles is married before, not
twice,
once, but twice.
Twice, 2 failed marriages on my end. And I have my son, and that's I think once I had Henry, it opened up so many other doors, and I grew up faster than I anticipated, I guess. So it's about getting back up and being reborn and understanding that falling is a part of life.
It is.
Yeah.
We were at a conference, and Alex Rodriguez says, "Hey, I have a master's in falling down, but I have an PhD in getting right back up."
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's what this is about.
Absolutely. And that's just, that's what I love about life. And that's what I loved about your speech. And I think that's why it resonated so well with me is it's, you're still standing and we're still standing. And not only are we still standing, but we're getting back up. We're trying to, just improve our lives, improve our financial standing and build a legacy, not just, and what I loved, I heard it recently. It's not just leave a legacy, but live a legacy.
Yes, I like that.
And that was really powerful when I heard those words. But absolutely, we all have a story, and that's the intention behind our podcast is what is your story? Like, let's show people that, there are such successful people out in the world, but at the end of the day, we're all people at the end of the day. And we all experience setback. We all experience times in our life where we fall and we get back up.
Yep. No, I love it. It's hitting the nail right on the freaking head. But so you had the 3 rounds. What made you get those 3 rounds? What was the mindset? Like, this is round 1, round 2, and round 3.
Well, People just like threes for some reason.
Yeah.
Anytime you do anything in threes, it's just something about three. So I wanted to have 3 rounds because in the speech, you only have 7.5 minutes. You go 7:31, you're disqualified.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
So if you go 7:29, you're still good?
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Okay,
You can
okay.
get up to 7:30, but at 7:31, you're done.
Is there like a red bzzz?
There's a timer.
Oh.
There's a person timing, and there's a screen below you. Green means you're good. Yellow means you're right in the middle. Red means shut up. So I only had really 3 rounds, and then a lot of the criticism that I got from the speech was, well, why did you drop out of college, and why did you? I can't tell you all that in 7.5 minutes. Bring me on your podcast, bring me on your TV show, and then we can talk about it for a half an hour. But I can't give you my whole life story in 7.5 minutes. It's not gonna work. And so I just chose those 3 points because those were 3 pivotal points in my life that a lot of people can relate to.
Yeah.
School, marriage, and of course, I'm speaking at a speaking convention where 2,000 people are in the same speaking organization as myself. And so I wanted 3 things that were relatable, 3 things that were personal, but not too depressing. And then just that rule of 3 is just, I don't know, it sticks with you for some reason.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, you opened the door. I'm going to go right into it. So why did you drop out of college?
Oh my goodness, no direction.
None?
No guidance, no direction, no guidance. Neither one of my parents graduated college at that time. Now my mother has 2 degrees.
Look at that.
Oh,
That's
wow.
awesome.
Right.
We got to kind of like meet your mom at the event.
Yeah.
She just she was just beaming with pride.
She's beautiful. She's beautiful. She at that time, she or my father, neither one of them had college degrees. My mother was working a lot because her and my father were not married. So she had to do all of the finances and take care of myself and my sister that you met as well. And so, like another thing, no point of reference. I didn't have an aunt that I could say, hey, auntie, how do you go to college? And what do you do in college? And my sister had gone, but she was at Bowling Green, and I didn't really like Bowling Green. And I didn't have an end game. I didn't have a plan. I didn't set any goals. And so I'm just bouncing around like, I don't like this college, gonna move on. Don't like that college, gonna move on. I'd rather work, so I'm gonna drop out here. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a goal. I didn't have an aim. And I just kept quitting. But like you said, when I had my son at 25, I said, I can't work at CVS Pharmacy and be able to take care of my child. That's not the life that I want to give him. It's okay. I'm not saying it's anything wrong with that. I loved working at CVS. I love working at Whole Foods better, but I love working at CVS. But at the time, I think I was making like maybe $10 an hour. It's not enough. And I wasn't married to his father. So when I had my son, it was like, look, I'm going back to school. I had a conversation with my godparents, and I said, we call her Nanny. I said, Nanny, do you think I should go to college or do you think I should get a full-time job? She said, you go to college. You stay here. You and Ryan, that's my son. You guys stay here for 2 years. Get your education. You won't regret it. And ever since I had my son, I've just been on the road. And I'm not stopping because like you said, I want to live the legacy, but I also want to leave the legacy.
Absolutely.
Not just for him, but for his children's children.
Yes.
And that's the point, is leaving that legacy. So
Yes.
our kids, like, the biggest thing I tell her is, like, we're starting to get into the real estate side. And then I want to leave these kids the option of, hey, you want to jump into the business? You're going to go to school. You're going to get a degree.
Right.
We'll give you a house.
Right.
But you're going to give me a degree back.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're going to do. That's our legacy that we're telling them boys now. You can go to school. You can we'll give you this house.
Yes.
But you're going to bring me that degree. You're going to put in the work. It's not going to be given to you. We're not going to give you everything that you want. We'll give you what you need.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the biggest things that I'm a believer in. So yeah, I can see that. And doing the work that we're all doing now, and you're just amazing. It's great. It's I want to ask you just one question. It's like, when you were in school and it finally clicked, what was that pivotal moment that just said, I'm going to finish, and this is my plan? And what would you tell to everyone listening that's going through the exact same situation, like third, fourth time dropping out of school, and they're like, no, school's not for me? That was my big thing. I was always like, school isn't for me.
I used to say that too.
I don't learn that way. I learn by hands-on. So I don't have a college degree, but now I have the experience. But I wish I had the college degree because it opens so many other doors. So to someone listening and saying, hey, man, I can relate to that, but what would you tell them to do in order to make it work?
It started to click for me when I went to Santa Monica College out in California. It was like, I'm tired of dropping. I think at that point, that was like the 4th school that I was attending. And I'm like, I'm tired of dropping out. I have to do something. And so I did something different. I hired a coach. It was inexpensive. You know, everybody in LA is hustling. So I think it was like $25 an hour. We met up once or twice a week, and she would give me what's called a WAP, W-A-P, a weekly action plan. And she would have me fill it out, your homework, your extracurriculars, anything. You put it on this sheet and you get organized. And from then it was like, okay, now I can see the vision. Now I can see the bigger picture. I can see why I'm here and why I'm doing this, and things started to match up. But I did something different. I didn't try to do it myself. A lot of us get caught up in, I just want to do it myself and I don't need anybody and I'm going to say I made it by myself. Good luck to you.
Yeah, pride will get in the way.
Right? Like, I need people. I need everybody. Help me. I'm not afraid to ask for help. So that was the thing. I asked for help. I did something differently. And like I said, then it was like, okay, I get it. But I still moved back home. And then once I had my son, that was just like the extra motivation. And so I used what I learned with my coach. And I'm like, I have to get organized. And I have to share my goals with my teachers and my professors. And I have to see the finish line. I don't want to just go to school and take it day by day. I want to know that I'm here to get this degree. Why do I want to get this degree? Knowing the why. Mm-hmm. Why do I have to get this degree? In order to give a better life to my child. Why do I want to give a better life to my child? Because that's my responsibility as his mother. And why am I his mother? I don't know. He chose me. I chose him. Don't know. But I just wanted better. And so it started to click like the third or fourth time around when I knew that I couldn't do it by myself and I needed some help. And I asked for it, and you ask and you receive when you're in alignment.
I love that. That goes to the thing that in sales, I'm always saying the squeaky wheel gets the oil, or my biggest thing is closed mouths don't get fed.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, we're going to head into another commercial break real quick, and then we'll be right back.
Houston, have you considered creating your own podcast just like this episode? Let us help you record, produce, and distribute your ideas in your very own podcast. To learn how to get started, contact us at info@houstonpodcaststudio.com.
Hey guys, thanks for coming back. And we still have the Ladybug speaker in the house here. She's killing it, dropping gold nugget after gold nugget, and we're super excited here. I think we have probably about 2 more questions that we have lined up here. And Veronica, you want to toss up the next one?
Yeah. So, I recently listened. We're like podcast junkies now.
We're getting there.
Now we are. And I'm in the car a lot. Any given day I can be driving in the car up to like 4 or 5 hours.
Wow.
Like, oh yeah. We live in like South Dallas, girl. We're way up north.
Wow.
And no, we're in the Woodlands. we call it South Dallas.
It takes 30 minutes just to get out of the Woodlands.
Exactly. And one of a podcast that I listened to recently was the power of the made up mind, and like just the power of your mindset. Mm-hmm. And, recently, talk about, we try to be transparent on here. Yes. And within these 4 walls and with our listeners, because when I hear someone that's just transparent and they're real, it's like, okay, now I can see that they care, and I can see that they're authentic and they're people. And, something that I struggled recently with was, I've always struggled with my weight. I love to eat and I love to have a good time. But it got to a point where I feel like I was like borderline depressed. Mm-hmm. I mean, we were just sitting at the kitchen table one time and we were talking. I just started crying. He's like, "Are you okay? Like, what's wrong?"
I'm like, "What did I do?"
I think I'm depressed. And he's like, "Well, let's talk about like what's the root of it." Mm-hmm. And it was my weight, and it's just things that like, and so I went through this mind shift. It was the journey. It was that week. Some journeys last longer, but mine was the journey of that week. And I just happened to listen to the podcast, and it was the power of the made up mind. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make up my mind that I start today. Mm-hmm. And I put a plan. And like you said, you put a plan, you had a vision, and those are such powerful words. And so for me, it's the power of the made up mind, and having that, and just continuing to feed my mind good things, podcasts. We're believers. I love listening to anything with church, and I love it. I love to feed myself good things. What are some things that you do, some activities? What do you do daily to continue to motivate yourself and just keep a strong mindset? Because every day is different. Some days are better than others, and the days that are really, really, really hard, it's tough. And you have to just power through and get through it. So what are some things that motivate you, that inspire you, that you want to share with others?
Ultimately, It's my son, and I say that a lot just because he has no idea how much he motivates me. I just want to show him that whatever I can do, he can do 10 times as much, or even 100 times as much. And that's my daily motivation. But before my child, for the people who don't have children or the people who don't want to have children, it was my purpose. Once I figured out I was put on this earth to inspire, it was like, and I kept trying to run from it. It kept chasing me down. That was it. So I made up my mind, and I said, you know what, dang it, I'm the ladybug speaker, and I just have to deal with it and go with the flow. So my son, and knowing full well my purpose and my passion, and every day I look at my vision board. A vision board, we all know what a vision board is. You take some magazines, some pictures, you slap it on the poster board, you slap it on your wall. Something you see every day.
We have it in our closet.
Yes, I recommend everybody have a vision board. And then I have some sayings that I say, and I have it in my room, I have it in my bathroom, and I have it in my workspace. It's like, I am debt free, and I can go to any store anywhere and buy whatever I want. And I just say those. I say it daily, and I feel it when I say it. It's not just like, I am debt free.
No, the affirmations.
Affirmations.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
And I feel it, and I say I have hundreds of dollars every day I wake up in my pocket or something like that. And I actually, like, in my mind, I can see like the $100 bills in my wallet and things like that. So being able to visualize through those affirmations and say it and feel it. Another thing I do is I journal every morning. My friend Heidi Caperton, she's a fellow Toastmaster and an amazing writer. She calls it clearing out the cobwebs. I'm a writer, so I like to write every single day, even if it's just one paragraph. As soon as I get up and I'm in the restroom, I'm sorry, that might have been TMI. But when I wake up, I go to the restroom to wash my face. How about that? I go to the restroom and wash my face, and I take out my journal. It's right on the back of my toilet, and I journal every single morning. And I'm a big advocate of self-care. Self-care. When you're not feeling good, the worst thing in the world to do is to wallow in your sadness. You have to treat yourself the way you would treat somebody you're so in love with. If somebody I'm so in love with, my best friend, my potential spouse, my dog, if you have a pet, anybody who you see down, how would you treat them? Treat yourself that way. If you see your best friend is down, you're not going to be like, all right, girl, let's have a pity party. Let's just cry. You're going to be like, no, get dressed, look cute. We're going for a nature walk, or no, we're going to go to happy hour, or whatever the case may be. So I will get up. I will go for a nature walk. I'll go to the pool. I'll watch some crazy videos on YouTube to make myself happy. I'm a firm believer in self-care. Go get a pedicure. If you don't have any money, walking is free. Videos on your phone are free. If you don't have a cell phone, take a walk around the corner. Do something to make yourself feel happy. Invest in yourself. So I'm a firm believer in that. So my son, knowing my purpose, doing those affirmations, visualizing it through a vision board, and treating yourself kindly.
That's awesome.
I love it.
I love it. You know, the moment, it was very early on in our relationship, but the moment that I knew I was going to marry him was New Year's Eve a couple of years ago, and I had a bunch of old magazines, and I bought these 2 like poster boards, I don't know, at the craft store, and just bought some little paints and letters and stickers and some Mod Podge. And so we're sitting there New Year's Eve, and he's like, what are you doing? I was bringing all this stuff out. I said, I'm going to do a vision board. And if you want to join me, I bought one for you. Here's all this stuff. And we were newly dating, and he goes, okay. I was like, okay. And as the night went on and the wine was flowing, it was funny because we ended up being like on opposite ends of the house. Like, we were so just deeply into our vision board. And I mean, it was like 3 a.m. We had put stuff on there. And at first he struggled with it. At first he was like, well, what do you mean a vision? I said, like, where do you see yourself? I don't care if it's tomorrow, next month, next year, in 10 years, when you die, like anything. And so, and we still have those vision boards, and they're hanging on our wall in the closet next to, I have one little sign that I had made years ago, and it said, I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. I'm telling you it's going to be worth it. I love that. I love it. So so we have our vision boards, guys, don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid to. I just, told his little secret. You got to get in there and do it, because you got to visualize everything. I visualized buying myself a $50,000 watch one day, and that's where I want to be. I want that watch. But the other thing is y'all were talking, I was sitting here, I just had a realization not too long ago. I was like, man,
I don't deserve to be successful. And I was like, what? Yeah, I was feeling that way. I'm like, man, I've always been on the cusp of doing something great. And there was always something that pulled me down. And I was telling Veronica the other day, I was like, you know what? F that. I was like, I'm on the verge and I'm going to break through. But it's like, you always hear it's like you said, in your own home, in your own circles, you're like, you weren't meant to do that. You're not supposed to do this. And it's like, no, we're going to do this and we're going to do that.
You know, I read it or heard it recently somewhere, but it said, imagine what people would think if the thoughts that you tell yourself, you were saying them out loud. Like, what would people say about you?
Right.
It's like, girl, get a better self-esteem, or, you know, talk more positively into your life. But, you know, it's important. Everyone's facing a battle behind the scenes, but it's so nice that we get to hang around and really be with people that have goals and have vision and want to live a legacy and leave a legacy. And we're big on that. You know, we're just two people trying to make a buck, trying to, you know, become more financially secure and provide a great, you know, life for our kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
Love it. Well, let's close this up. Give us one word of advice to anyone listening. What would you say, that one golden nugget that you live by right now?
That's a tough one. Let me see. I guess no regrets.
No regrets?
No regrets. If there's something that you want to do, of course it's not going to be able, most likely, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but most likely it's not going to happen overnight. But don't be the person on their deathbed. We've all heard, don't be the person on their deathbed saying, I wish I would have, or I wish I could have. There's always a way. And I know that sounds weird, but there's always a way. I never thought I would have visited 11 countries in 6 months. I never thought I would have studied abroad for 3 weeks in Africa. I never thought I would be hosting my own workshops. Like, these are my workshops. Mine. Like, I'm not going to Tony Robbins' workshop. I'm not going to see Iyanla Vanzant. Like, these are mine. But had I not stayed focused, and had I not believed in myself, and had I not said, you know what, I'm going to leave this earth with no regrets, then I would never have done it. So whatever it is that you want to do that's good, that's helpful, that's positive, don't have any regrets before you leave this earth. One day, tomorrow's not guaranteed, and don't put off tomorrow what you can do today.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, I got a lot of positive algorithm also. Don't have any regrets.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
That's amazing. So yeah, don't have any regrets, guys. Anything you want to end the show with?
We're looking forward to your next session. You know, later this month in September. By the time we air this, unfortunately, it's gonna be after. So, but I know that but there's gonna be another one, right?
Every single month.
So speaking of, so how do our followers find you? How do they find your events, and how can they connect with you?
Instagram is what I use mostly, at Ladybug Speaker. Ladybug like the insect, speaker like what your ears are listening to right now, at Ladybug Speaker. Facebook, you can do Ramona J. Smith. My website is ramonajsmith.com, and all of the information about the events is in my bio on Instagram, and I copy and paste it and share it. I sound like an old lady. I copy and I
One time my mama asked me, she goes, Mija, I subscribe to the Facebook. I said,
The Facebook. No, I still got to go reset my mom's computer every week.
So go to the Facebook and you'll find me, Ramona J. Smith, Instagram, Snapchat. No. I'm too old. I'm sorry. I'm pushing 40. I can't do. No, thank you. Snapping and chatting and snapping.
No Twitter?
Not really. Primarily Instagram and Facebook.
That's the way the world's going.
Yeah.
Instagram is the thing.
And I'm gonna try to do Twitch. You guys ever heard of Twitch?
Yeah, we're actually working, or Matt, the CEO of this radio station, we're actually working on having a Twitch studio in here.
Yeah.
So we were here last week playing video games, trying to get on Twitch, and it wouldn't integrate when we still played video games all night. So it was
well, that's fine. Yeah. I'm gonna get on Twitch.
No. Well, thank you so much for coming in. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure and honor, and truly humbled for you coming in and talking to us.
Absolutely.
And sharing everything with our listeners. And please, guys, go ahead and follow her on Instagram. Send her a message that you heard her on the podcast, and ask her about her next event. You need to be there, because me and Veronica will be there.